Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is fantastic. It's great. I had a great weekend. I hope you had a great weekend. Please tell me how your weekend went in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I love hearing from you. Um, I had a really nice weekend, a really productive weekend. I got to work down here a good bit, basically getting the cabinet part of the router table finished. All the doors and drawers are mounted, and door handles were recessed and put on, and that it came out absolutely beautiful. I still have things to do. I got to install the NVR switch. I need to drill the plate for the router and mount the router. I have to decide what router I'm going to use first. And then once I've done that, I want to build a baffle inside the router cabinet part to kind of make that space a little smaller, and then have a port for my dust hose. And then it's usable. I need to make some drawer inserts to help organize some things, but overall, it turned out beautiful. I think it's really nice to look at. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it, and that is the oddity here. I'm proud of it because it's flawed, right? The cabinet itself isn't square. It's really darn close, but it's out of square. The drawers were cut. My miter gauge was off, so the faces are all canted slightly. The doors don't hang quite right. The gaps are uneven, and I can't make them even. There's a couple of gouges when I was routing the top that look unsightly. And all that being said, I think it looks great. And that's a new thing for me. This was one of those projects that it just needs to be done. I just need to be able to use it, whatever that means. In whatever state it's in, I need it to be usable. And I settled on just making that happen. And I think that what I have is a very usable product that looks great. And anybody who saw it would say, man, that's a really nice looking cabinet. Only I and other woodworkers are going to look at details and go, oh, you could have done this, you could have done that. And that's fine. And I've accepted that that's fine. I'm not obsessing about it. I'm not freaking out because there's all these flaws. I'm not upset about it. I'm fine with it. I told myself early in this process of making it, I told myself it was okay to screw up. You're going to screw up. Just get it over with, right? And I did that. And the results are I have this wonderful looking cabinet that will be a great outfeed table. It's going to get scratched all the hell and back. It's not built to be this pristine item. It's built to be a utilitarian item, and I used it as a learning resource for the hinges and all the drawers and building the cabinet up. It was more of a learning experience than anything, and I learned a whole heck of a lot, and I had a really good time doing it, and that's the more important part than the final object. And that's a very new experience for me, very, very new experience to build something like that and not be upset that it didn't come out the way I envisioned it. It didn't come out the way I envisioned it. Originally, all the doors and drawers were supposed to be outset. They weren't supposed to be inset into the cabinets. They were supposed to have a bit of an overhang. I had to scrap all of that. In the end, I'm glad I did, because it means everything's set back that extra amount, which none of the handles are sticking out past the tabletop, so I'm not going to be bumping into them or whatever. So in the end, it's a better design than what I initially had in my mind. And I wouldn't have got there had I just said, oh, I have to start over, right? Because it didn't turn out the way I wanted or whatever. So good times. I came down here. I got that done. The kids had stuff to do. Specifically, my oldest was the director of her school's spring play, so she had to go do the school spring play. My youngest went to their first formal at middle school, and my sister dropped her dog off this weekend. So first time her dog's been out of the house. We were watching the dog this week, and then my kid had formal, and it was a perfect time to say, you know what, I'm going to take pictures. And I got the camera all set up and ready, and I've taken quite a few pictures of the dogs. I took lots of pictures of my kid in their formal, dress, and did some portrait shots, that sort of stuff. I had a lot of fun with the camera this weekend. A lot of just taking pictures, just to remember. The last time I took a photography class was in 1996, I think. I think I was a junior. Maybe it was even a sophomore. And so it might have been 95. And at that time, we were still shooting film. We were shooting black and white, doing our own developing in a darkroom. And I learned, shutter speed, f-stop, ISO, how to manage that stuff on sunny days, dark days, bright days, whatever, learning, remembering all that stuff. I've remembered a lot of that over the years. I know what apertures are for. I know all that stuff, but I just haven't manually done it a whole lot. I've just kind of, with this camera, when I would take pictures of this camera, I just pretty much left it on auto and took pictures, just like a snap and shoot that has a slightly better lens and better sensor. But I want to revisit taking artsy photographs. So I slapped the f2 lens, my little 22 millimeter f2 on the camera, put an ND filter on it, cranked the aperture, as wide as it would go, and took some cool blurry, portrait shots, and had a lot of fun doing that. So that was an experience. And then I also had a new idea, like maybe something that, not necessarily to write about, but maybe something to film. I don't know. Like, heck, I had a cool thought that I want to put down on paper, and I've been working in my journal, working on, not my journal. I need to stop calling it that. It's not a journal. It's a notebook, right? I've been carrying it with me, and I've been writing when I have thoughts or moments to think about writing. I've been putting things in there so that I could hopefully translate the stuff that's in there into actual things, videos specifically. But also there's software in there, there's art in there, a little bit of everything in there. So that's kind of the point. It's a collective place to put my thoughts and my ideas and see what happens out of them. So I had a very productive weekend. I really enjoyed myself. Got to relax a good bit, got to read a good bit, got to be dad a good bit, good times. What'd you do? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is mawkish. It is an adjective meaning nauseating and sickly sentimental. I would jump down Etna for any public good, but I have a mawkish popularity. But I hate a mawkish popularity. John Keats, English Romantic poet. Mawkish, M-A-W-K-I-S-H. So if a maw is a mouth, right? Like that's mouthish, a sickly sentimental. That's interesting. I don't get how to use that.